One week I wanted to be a doctor, next week I wanted to be a lawyer, next week I wanted to be a bus driver. Like most kids, at one point you do want to become a cop. In my family, it was kind of instilled in me early on, service as a vocation.
I always wanted to be a cop. That was it. I was the cop. Cops and robbers, you want to be the robber? That's great. I always wanted to be a cop. I remember walking with my mom on Fifth Avenue in Sunset Park, and I saw this neighbor of ours that we had grown up with. I remember looking, and I see a police car, and he was in the police car, and he was driving, and I was like, wow, that's what I want to do.
I was young. I came on, I was 20 years old. So I wasn't even old enough to drink, and they were giving us a gun and telling us, let's go out there and patrol the streets.
I kind of grew up in a sort of patriotic household. I grew up with the B train used to run outside my parents' bedroom window.
I enjoyed hanging out with my friends, bike riding.
They raised my sister and I, and the best they could, and it was a good childhood. For the most part, it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
My friend gave me his father's leather jacket and his 8-point hat, and I put it on. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, hey, I look pretty good at that. That's pretty cool, you know?
Graduation day, that's a day I'll never forget. I was very proud to be sworn in.
We're all in uniform for the very first time. Empty holsters, no shields on, and next thing they usher you into a room. And you go on the line, and they issue you your firearm, and you're loaded for the street. And the next thing you know, they put you in another room, and they're like, "Here, put this in your pocket. Put this in your pocket." And all you want to do is look at it. They gotta put it in your pocket. I remember getting into the classroom, everybody's putting their tins on, and it was one of those. I just got chills. That's a good memory.
The first thing that happened was somebody started screaming into the radio bloody murder that a plane had hit the World Trade Center. While I was helping the people off the escalator, I ran into my sergeant, Timmy Roy, again. And I tapped him on the shoulder. I saw him, he was talking to a couple of firefighters. I said, hey, Timmy, just letting you know, I'm right here. And I went to go turn around to him again, and I was gonna tell him, I said, listen, I don't have a radio. We should stick together. And he was gone. He was, he ran back wherever he went. He went back into the building. I wanted to be, part of the guys. I wanted to be one of the guys that brought hope to his family.
I could just be sitting down having a dinner, and all of a sudden I would just start sweating. I feel like the walls are closing in, my throat was closing up, my heart would start pounding. I needed to get out of wherever I was. I needed to get out and just be by myself. I remember just coming home from work at nights, and I would basically just lay in bed and watch TV, stare at the walls, and think of what's the easiest way for me to do this.
A young Jewish boy who was allowed to walk home for the first time, by himself for the first time, and he went missing, and subsequently we ended up finding him in a suitcase. And I just remember that, opening the suitcase. I have a 2-year-old right now, but back then it was my other son. I just couldn't put it together, and I deserved a drink. I deserved it. Nobody saw what I had seen. Nobody could understand. And I really couldn't go home and tell my wife, hey, you're not gonna believe what happened at work today. It got to the point where my drinking became the one thing I wanted to do all the time. And then at one point I just couldn't stop. And in the height of it, looking at myself in the mirror, I just hated it. I hated that reflection. 3 pounds of pressure? And I would do this. I would sit in the car doing this. All it takes.
Unless you've walked through the shoes of a New York City police officer in this environment, you really have no idea what it's about. You're having a normal reaction to an abnormal situation.
I had a friend who was a peer counselor for Poppa. I knew I didn't want to go to the job, and I kind of put my faith in him. We sat down, we had a cup of coffee, and I told him my situation. I spoke my guts to him.
They're not going to take your guns and shields and put you in the orders and voucher and create a paper trail. And they're not going to add to whatever it is that's going on. Poppa gave me the opportunity to work on me.
The Poppa program it's not part of the police department, and it's confidential. The only thing that you would actually ever see that you know, as far as if you would have pulled up my sick record, you would have saw that I was out sick from March, whatever it is, of 2002 to May of 2002. That's it. It gives you a cop-friendly environment in order to turn around and seek help from people that understand what you go through, you know, what cops go through.
But they also allow you the opportunity to grab onto someone else. You're in a group with like-minded people, with people who have been through what you've been through. The stories may be different, but the end result is always the same.
I know I'm a better person than I was before this whole situation. It's made me stronger. Poppa saved my life.
I know that I still have purpose in life. You know what I mean? And I'm excited to be able to. I'm happy to be here. I'm so happy to still be here.
The sunrise will always bring a better day, even though you don't see it. The sunrise will always bring a better day. If I would have shot myself in 2014, I wouldn't have 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017. And you know what? It was worth it. It was worth the wait.